300 miles, 200 laps at Charlotte. Here we go on CW.
Huge jump for the 7.
That's why I took the bottom, Jamie.
Yeah, exactly. Was able to launch out front. Going to be able to run wherever he wants through turns 1 and 2. As you see those guys 3 wide, got a little smoke out of the 32. I don't know if there was contact there.
Look at Sam Mayer. When we talk about that inside lane, Allgaier jumps out front. Mayer trying to come through. Now 7 dancing around on the outside. And right behind them at the 1, Connor Zilic. Whoa, Allgaier leads the opening lap by that much.
Yeah, Sam Mayer's got such a great record here at Charlotte. He knows how to get around the racetrack. While there might be pinned to that white line for right now, I can guarantee you they will be chasing this racetrack all the way up to the wall by the end of it.
Yeah, and the one thing about the 7 car, not known for having short run speed. He's one of those guys that's always good as the run goes on. You do not want to let him get checked out right here. But what about the 1 car right behind him of Connor Zilic?
Harrison Burton goes around. Wheel and caution lights are on early. It's kind of been a theme in the last month or so. Early cautions in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series.
Not clear. No, you were plenty clear. He just drove in, got you in the left first. Left side, they're out still.
A little bit of contact there. Can't tell who that was behind him. I think it was Jesse Love. We'll get a look here.
Harrison Burton was scored 18th.
This is also a challenge. Yeah. If he's asking if he wasn't clear, he clearly felt contact.
That's right.
So, you know, that's just, you know, we talked about what advice would you give young guys. One of the things that you're going to have when you don't have practice qualifying, you don't have an ability to feel your car out, know what the limits are, and it just seems like we all know rain is somewhat close. It's just you got to find a way to just calm the emotions, understand this thing ain't happening until we get to halfway anyway.
Sam Mayer scored the race leader. We'll double check all of that as they were fighting hard out front. Allgaier, Zilic, Day, and Hill, the others. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by Charbroil. Get more, grill more. The Credit One Bank, NASCAR American Express card. And by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. Back at Charlotte under caution. You know, in 5 of the last 7 races, we've had a caution in the first 3 laps of the race in O'Reilly competition. Let's look at this one again.
Well, you see the 24. I mean, Jesse Love's almost up beside him here, but I think the draft allowed the 24 to get a little bit ahead. He forced his way down, and the 2 was like, no, I'm still here. A little slight contact.
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, I know that Harrison's wanting to get to the bottom there, but it's just, you got to think that the 2 cars not planning on that late move down to the bottom. But again, listen, if we're out on the street, the guy in the back is usually at fault.
Let's hear what Jesse Love had to say about the situation.
Yeah, just got comments on me. Did the 2024 get any damage? I don't think so. He had to use up a set of tires, which I'm sure he's not happy about, but I don't think there's any damage in the car. Copy.
You know, we were talking during the break, though, because of the rain earlier, no practice, no qualifying, you carry a set over. So you, in a sense, even though there's a comp caution, you have an extra set of tires. That could help everything pass through for that 24 group.
Everyone else has an extra set of tires.
Yeah, right. Yeah, now. Toyota Racing onboard camera, looking at Dean Thompson. You know, we've done the choose, we were going to go green, but we've got some sprinkles. So NASCAR waved off the restart. And I do want to point out Sam Mayer, you know, is scored as the leader. He was the first driver to do the choose. And I say that hesitantly, or I did earlier, because, you know where they are in regard to timing lines, and the racing was so tight when the caution came out, I wasn't certain it was the 41, but indeed it was.
Yeah, a little cell just popped up on top of us. Copy. Big stuff is probably 10 miles away, but it just, out of nowhere, a little one popped up right on top of the track. 10-4.
There's the radar.
I don't like our radar. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Andy and I have been looking at the radars on our phones. They're much more optimistic than what we see.
It's a little more negative.
It is.
Yes. We mentioned, you know, why would Justin take the bottom there? And we see now Mayer's in control, and he's on the bottom. I actually forgot. This is actually part of my notes I'll look at tomorrow morning. But with Charlotte, on the bottom, you know, this is one of those tracks where it is very difficult to get a launch on the top side. And so actually the preferred groove is the bottom on the straight line restarts usually at this racetrack.
Well, and in this race last year, the outside really struggled to get going. But once the guy on the outside got 2 or 3 shots at it, he was able to adjust for that, kind of the timing of when they accelerate, and was able to do a good job. But you're right. I mean, last year it was the same thing. That bottom, just the initial, like, on throttle was able to clear the outside, and then you kind of had your choice of where you wanted to run through turns 1 and 2.
We stay under caution with a little bit of a rain shower falling here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hopefully green when we return. Mayer and Allgaier up front early on. Whelen caution lights are on, the same Whelen emergency lights and sirens you see on the safety vehicles here at the track are protecting first responders in communities all across America. Thinking so much about Kyle Busch this weekend, who sadly we lost a couple of days ago, and we'll be celebrating his life throughout our broadcast. Not enough time to show all the highlights. Making history in 2009, first and only driver to sweep a truck and O'Reilly race in the same day. Did it at California Speedway in Fontana. Such a talent.
Adam, he nearly won a race on 3 tires on the final lap at Fontana.
He did. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
oh, I remember. Yeah.
It was incredible.
Let's get some radio from Raja Caruth, Team 88.
Yeah, like I'm getting my hand to the corner. I didn't see it too much, but I don't know. It's not my call, I guess. This is exactly like that time we crashed everybody at the All-Star race who was doing this. It's just going to be slick anywhere outside of where you guys are pacing.
Hear them talking about the rain on the windshield and how slick it could be. They're referencing, what year was that, 97, 98? Stat guys, what year did we wreck everything?
Back in your day, Jimmy.
2001.
I was going to say later.
I didn't even have to have it written down. They just did verbal hand signals to me over there.
I can tell you, any fast speed track, I mean, as a driver, the moment like I feel or see a drop on my windshield, I'm going into the corner half speed.
Listen, my rule of thumb
messing
was
with it.
If it hits the windshield and it can't dry by the time it gets to the top, I'm out. I'm out. Like if it's still wet by the time it gets to the top, I'm done. That's a lot of rain on the windshield.
Yeah.
We're going to have to run a few laps here and hope this passes over. It's a super small cell, as we heard one of the spotters reference earlier. And unfortunately, in the Charlotte area, we're just in this big fog right now, and it's not really even showing up on the radar. It's just a lot of moisture in the air, and you can see as you kind of look down towards turn 1 from this onboard, fog is kind of setting in. It's just heavy air right now.
Yeah, I see, I'm looking on my phone, but I see the little cell they're talking about, and yes, it could stop here shortly, and we might get a couple laps in, but I'm trying
Feel
to
good
be
about it?
very, very optimistic.
There we go.
What's going on, Kim?
Yeah, well, Adam, with it being Memorial Day weekend, we see a lot of unique and special paint schemes. And for Austin Green, he's got a special partnership this weekend, Purple Heart Homes. Based in Statesville, North Carolina, the group was founded in 2008 by 2 combat wounded veterans, and their mission is to provide safe housing solutions for veterans. And that includes things like repairs and renovations to help veterans live independently in their homes, as well as home ownership programs. And Purple Heart Homes says that there is no better weekend to be able to showcase their mission than this weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Austin's had a great run recently, back-to-back solid weekends, finishing 9th at Watkins Glen, 12th last weekend after that strategy gamble by crew chief Jody Meesemer. Austin telling me a top 15 or top 10 weekend here at his home track would mean a lot to both him and Purple Heart Homes.
Yeah, he's a Concord guy. Won the ARCA race here a season ago on the oval. Was really good on the Roval last fall. And you know, I think about that sponsor, and I think about what we'll do here tomorrow evening. Got to say a big thanks to Marcus Smith and everyone here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the 600 miles of remembrance as we honor and remember tomorrow evening.
You got to tell your driver right now we need to make good decisions. This isn't going to be the last probably little rain delay we're going to have. We got to get to the end here.
Well, I can tell you, see this camera that's on top that's still got some rain on it? Their windshields, by the way, still has rain on it. So as a driver, you are not very confident going into turn 1 right now.
Going green, drivers making their way to the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone.
At bottom, getting that good launch. But
Justin, though.
yeah, as long as the 7 can stay there. The 7's in actually the preferred lane here in 1 and 2, the most gripped up lane. But Mayer takes that short distance and clears him.
Yeah, Justin did a nice job giving him a little bit of room, you know, knowing that he might slide up the racetrack.
3 wide, Raja Caruth getting racy coming off of turn 2. Driving the 88 for Junior Motorsports. Got some advice from the boss under caution. 21 is Austin Hill. All those patriotic paint schemes. Hard to keep track of who's who. Sam Mayer out front.
Go back 4 or 5 spots. You see Corey Day, who started on the front row, struggling just a little bit here on these restarts. He's another one of those guys that I feel like does a great job of being good on the longer run, similar to Allgaier, who looks to me like he's adjusted right here. You see him all over the back. Sam Mayer.
Yeah, well, the tires are new. You're able to run lower. Cup, O'Reilly's, that's going to be the preferred route for a couple laps. But as these tires wear out, and especially these low force, downforce O'Reilly cars, you're going to see them continue to move up. And the first that can get speed going up top, those the one's going to go forward.
And I'll go ahead and apologize. It wasn't Corey Day. It was Raja. Rick Hendrick has blessed us once again with multiple cars in this race with the same paint scheme. So easy to get confused.
Battle for the race lead. Allgaier looking inside of Mayer. The aforementioned Corey Day right there with him. Allgaier back on point, and this is big.
Yeah,
because we're going to get a competition caution here in another 5 or 6 laps. You want to be in control when the caution comes out to lead him down the pit lane. Allgaier is there right now. Man, look at that. 17 slips up. Here comes Connor Zilich in the 1.
Yeah, the 41's fighting his car a little bit right now. Obviously, he can't quite keep pace with Justin. Gave up the lead. Looks like he's getting hounded there by Connor.
Yeah, look at the 17. He's worked up where Denny was talking about. Once you can get that activated, the amount of grip that's generated up there and the momentum you have down the straightaways, it looks to me like the 17 has found that. He's taking a little bit of a chance here, see what he can do through 1 and 2. Doing the same thing. You see Allgaier out front doing the same thing as well. Not quite getting the speed, though, that they need on the straightaways to make that distance up.
Yeah, and Corey actually had the option to go to the bottom of Austin Hill there, chose not to, which means he's committed to the top at that point.
Oh, he got tight right there and slid up.
Look at
Austin
Ryan
Hill.
Sieg.
Yeah, Sieg, really good run around the bottom right here in the black and white number 39.
Right behind them, another veteran, Brandon Jones. 3 career victories on 1.5 mile tracks. Just got an update from NASCAR with the early caution that came out naturally. The competition caution will now come somewhere around lap 25. So just past halfway in the opening stage.
See these guys searching all over the track now. Corey Days went way up the racetrack.
Oh, he's loose.
He's so loose. It's probably still a little bit damp up there, a little bit of rain that we had. We haven't seen anybody venture up that high, but listen, that's what won him the race last week at Dover, is he was able to move up the racetrack, find some grip where other guys hadn't. He's trying to get just a little bit of clean air. You also see the 9 of Ross Chastain behind him doing the same thing. Oh, he gets in the dirty air of the 21. Yeah. A little bit loose. He's done a great job learning Denny. We've seen him over the past year. He has evolved as much as anybody in NASCAR, getting better every single week.
Yeah, and he said that the 1.5 mile tracks is where he feels the most comfortable, running the high line. So we're seeing that. Certainly it's going to be a factor for him later on in this race.
I remember last fall, top 5 at Las Vegas with limited experience talking about Corey Day, and he's never been to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Was hoping to run the truck race last night to better prepare him for today. That event washed out, pushed to this evening, so making his first laps competitive here right now. And here's another young driver that's got loads of talent. They're both young, right? I mean, if we're really going to sell it that way. But Connor Zilich, amazing a year ago, jumps to the runner-up spot around Sam Mayer.
Classic Charlotte line right there. Who can get lower in the middle of 3 and 4 and stay lower along the corner? This racetrack is awesome today. We see him running the very bottom of turns 3 and 4. And they immediately went up to the middle of turns 1 and 2. Carson having it was Zilich having another great run right here.
Another car paying attention to is Brent Cruz, up in the top 10, started 18th, making moves.
19 looks good, seeing this place for the first time. And the 9 of Ross Chastain. So many drivers without the benefit of qualifying had to start deeper in the field maybe than they would have if we had been able to qualify. But they're starting to make moves here as we work our way toward that competition caution.
It's so impressive to me for someone like Brent Cruz, who's never been to here, Kansas, all these racetracks. You get no practice and you go out and they figure it out immediately. And I know that simulations come a long ways, but there's nothing like actually being in a car, being in dirty air, feeling all of those senses you have inside of a race car. And every week he continues to impress.
What's great for Brent here, you don't have the track position to start. As you said, Denny, you drive your way up to the top 10. You get the competition caution, everything tightens up. You get that little reset to go back out and apply your knowledge.
Yeah, and it looks like he's doing about running the bottom very, very effectively. And that's going to be key. If he can keep his car running the lap time, I mean, to drive in that deep and hold the line, especially in 3 and 4 here at Charlotte, extremely hard to do. So he's got a fast car.
Popped around Raja there for 9th in the running order. Allgaier's advantage 1.3 seconds. Zilich, Day, Jones, Chastain, the top 5.
Another guy that's having a great run. We talk about Brent Cruz he's up 9 spots from the start. But Ross Chastain's up 9 as well. And I've watched him run the very top of 1 and 2. I've seen him on the very bottom of 3 and 4. He's been able to go really anywhere that he wants to on the racetrack and making a lot of ground up. We know the JRM cars are exceptional at every track, but mile and a halfs especially. And Ross having a great run here, able to put that car everywhere that he needs to. Look at the entry speed that he has, and you mentioned it, very similar to Cruz. He missed the bottom right there, going to kind of commit to the second lane, slide up into that traction compound and get the grip he needs for an exit.
Yeah, with a corner like that, he's not looking to make optimum lap time. He's just looking to clear the 20.
Not get passed back. No. That's right.
Junior Motorsports great early in the year. Chastain desperately wants to win in that 9 car, been unable to do that. I know the relationship with JRM is good, and he wants to be one of those that gets them a checkered flag. They've done it so frequently the last year and a half.
Another thing to keep in mind, and it's more so I feel like in turns 3 and 4 than 1 and 2, but you see how wide that line is on the bottom of the racetrack. It's white, blue, and then white. It's pretty wide now, but it's just like extra grip. It's almost like glue. When you can get your left front on it, you see the 39 right back here, got to it early. If you can get to that early and ride that all the way around, the amount of grip, the speed, the throttle that you can give the car all the way around the corner, it's like you have better tires on than when you miss that.
Yeah, because the paint, what it does is it fills in the kind of the cracks and the holes of the racetrack. So it makes for a smoother surface. And then the tire grip, when you have that hot rubber laying on top of that paint, it now sticks to it. And if you walked your foot across that thing, it's just very, very sticky.
Here's the competition caution. Wheatland caution lights are on.
And just the longer I go, the freer end I get. And then I'm just too tight.
I think that was Sheldon Creed's radio talking about the balance shift in his car. Free end is not good anywhere that we go. They'll be able, though, if they want to come in here and make some adjustments.
Looking into the eyes of Sheldon Creed, courtesy of the GovX onboard camera. Been a tough couple of weeks for that race team, but has had a wonderful start to 2026, ahead of schedule in every category. When you talk about his best beginnings to a campaign at this level of racing, and the highlight, no doubt, that big win, race 2 at Echo Park Speedway down in Hampton, Georgia.
I like that Evil Knievel themed helmet he's got going there. Yeah, that looks good.
He did an Evil Knievel move at Watkins Glen a couple of weeks ago. We're hoping to stay away from that today.
Probably why he needed a new helmet from that impact.
As we anticipate pit stops, Allgaier is out front. Won this race a few years ago and has now led laps at Charlotte in 5 consecutive seasons. The rest of the top 5, Zilich up there with Day, Chastain, and Jones. Sieg is 6th, and Brent Cruz was able to get up to 7th as we get ready for the pit lane to open up.
One of those guys we saw fire off really well at the start of the race was Sam Mayer. He complained about the balance getting tighter throughout that run. They can adjust right here and hopefully get him tuned up for this next kind of a short stint that we're going to have before the end of stage 1.
You know, if there's anyone who knows the value of a good crew, it's the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. That's why they want to put the spotlight on the pit crew members that are essential to a race team's success. Let's go down to Dylan.
Yeah, and this is Andrew Patterson, who certainly knows the value of a good crew because he's been a part of the crew for Jordan Anderson Racing. A native of Dayton, Ohio, he relocated to Statesville a few years ago and was one of Jordan Anderson Racing's first employees for their O'Reilly Auto Parts race teams, and for several years lived in the apartment above the team's former Truck Series shop to just help himself get fully immersed in the operations of building a race team. As you can see there, joined the team in 2021, has done everything from be a tire specialist to work on the interiors of the cars, and he gets to race them. He's been in this car, or will be in this car, for an eight scheduled races this year. We've seen him already a few times this year. He's running ARCA this year. He's also racing late models from time to time, so he does it all, and great to have him back in the field with us this weekend.
Well, and this isn't just a good human interest story. When he comes and races, he does a wonderful job. And we had an interview with him during practice and qualifying at Martinsville where he made his debut. Fun kid, great personality, and it's neat to see him
great
getting this opportunity. All right, we're going to open pit road here. They're coming down the progressive pit lane. Allgaier leads them down. Dylan?
Connor Zilich in the one car will pit from the second spot. Just said that he was too tight to run the bottom. He couldn't get the shape of the corner correct because of that handling condition. They'll go around and change 4 tires and add fuel. Don't see any chassis adjustments, maybe just an air pressure on the one, Kim.
For Corey Day, second from the top, he said got tight up high in 3 and 4. Bottom is good early. They won't make any big changes. For Justin Allgaier, he said tight landing both ends, small air pressure adjustment to those 4 fresh Goodyear tires. And then you see Ross Chastain there at the very bottom, tight to fire off. He said he did have a little bit of left front tire smoke, but the crew chief said it was not anything to worry about.
Race off Progressive Pit Road. Allgaier, Hold, Serve, Zilich, Day, Jones, Chastain, the top 5. About 15 laps to go, stage 1, when we return to the green flag.
What's up? How are you?
I freaking love y'all.
Give me your hat.
I love y'all. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
Thank
you.
you.
Are freaking awesome.
Good to see you guys.
Oh
Thanks.
yeah. I'm so happy you won.
I tell you, I don't know who's more excited, her or the dog in the back seat. But, you know, that just is some of the effect that Kyle Busch had. And, you know, he called him Rowdy Nation, right? But man, he's got such a strong contingent of followers that were so passionate about him and his racing each and every weekend. And you know, to have that moment where he saw someone wearing his hat and says, "Hey, let me have that thing sign up for you," and just know it made their day.
And we hit on this in the pre-race show. You know, a lot of times the drivers we see get interviewed after something has happened on the racetrack. That's not the guy that we know. That's the Kyle that we remember and that you would hang out with away from the racetrack. He's an awesome guy and made that young lady's day right there.
Such a wonderful moment, such a great reflection of Kyle Busch. And today, Arby's sends their condolences to Kyle Busch's family, team, and fans during this challenging time. And in lieu of an ad, Arby's and the Arby's Foundation have made a donation to Samantha and Kyle Busch Bundle of Joy Fund and invites others to do the same. If you'd like to donate, please visit bundleofjoyfund.org to learn more. Thought we were going to get the choose. Got some reports of rain around the track, so we'll stay under caution and we'll get a break in. Just over 10 laps to go. Stage 1 at Charlotte for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series live on CW. Memorial Day, News Nation salutes America's heroes of the high seas. Leland Vittert gives you exclusive access inside the U.S. Naval Academy for amazing stories of bravery, heroism, and innovation. America's greatest sailors, Memorial Day, 9, 8, 7 Central on News Nation. To find News Nation on your screen, go to newsnationnow.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway on CW. You're watching the Charbroil 300, and we brought the cars down the pit lane, and for now, NASCAR is telling the drivers to stay in their cars, which is an optimistic portion of this, but we have seen more precipitation, and that's why we couldn't go back green here after that cycle of stops.
Well, that doesn't look very encouraging.
It doesn't.
Again, Denny and I are going to emphasize we don't think the filter is set to what it should be.
Yeah.
On what we're looking at.
I
Am I
agree.
saying that correct?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're
I
right.
will tell you, too, I'm a glass half full kind of guy.
Yep.
But as you look at some of the heavier precipitation that's coming this way, it seems to be breaking up and maybe not as heavy the closer it gets here. The rain's not necessarily going away, but some of the heavier bands seem to be slowing a bit as they make their way to Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Really?
That's what I'm going to go with.
All right.
Well,
I like
media is really going to have fun with me on this one.
So true.
And I appreciate you too, just jumping in and stirring it up. That's really nice of you. So the red flag is out for rain at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Justin Allgaier leading Zilich, Day, Jones, and Chastain, the top 5 in the Charbroil 300. So we're going to fire the engine soon. They'll roll them off. I'm guessing we'll get a couple of laps in maybe before you would think they would open pit road here to see what teams might do as far as a strategy play at the end of the stage. And then we'll wrap stage 1 and be on with our night.
See that Justin took the bottom again. See if Connor can adapt on that outside lane and what that's going to feel like. They're going to run through that traction compound, and it's always a little sketchy up there until it gets a couple of laps on it. So these guys will have to adapt to that as well.
A lot of good flavor up there when you talk about talents in this series, guys that race on Sunday, and some guys that are very, very early in their career, like Brent Cruz trying to make something happen here in his first ever start at Charlotte. Field is set for the Echo Park Restart Zone. Echo Park Automotive, where car buying is easier, better, and happier. Here we go to end stage 1.
Zilich does an awesome job right there, not spinning the tires too much. It looks like that bottom row, though, is hooked up. You see Corey Day giving Allgaier just a little bit of a shove.
Outside lane, look at the change. Jesse Love getting with it out there. Allgaier top spot. Right in his hip pocket, Connor Zilich. Side by side for third. Day gets it 3 wide in the middle as Cruz, as Chastain comes through in the 9.
Cruz was moving around the back of that car, not very stable as he went across the bumps. He does a nice job to keep a hold of it. Lost a little bit of momentum, though, as they head down into turn 1.
Yeah, that's experience versus Brent Cruz there. You know, Ross Chastain knows those conditions that I was talking about, that this is going to be as fast as going to go. He was in the gas, and Brent's just biding his time. He knows he's got a really fast car. In that first stint, we saw him drive up from the teens up into the top, middle half of the top 10. So I look for Brent Cruz to make his way to the front here before this race is over.
And Demi talked about it being the fastest laps they're going to run tonight. The pole here, when we were here last year, was a 30:59. Zilich just ran a 30:20. As a matter of fact, the top 5 cars all ran faster than the pole speed we had here last year. So track is incredibly fast right now.
Love shooting out of line, going down below Raja Caruth. Those two have had a history. Sheldon Creed getting with it, and now the battle for the lead. Here comes Zilich to the inside in the 1, trying to take it away from Allgaier. 7 wound up in the outside lane, 5 to go.
Yeah, I watched Connor Zilich there. We're always a little bit loose. He just was be able to paint the line a little bit better in 3 and 4, keep his car a little lower, and but the 7 car here just has got a little bit too much on that outside.
Well, the outside of 1 and 2 is really quick. They can get into where the traction compound's been laid down. You see Justin hit those bumps. The back of that car stepped out, and when it did, he had to catch it. He walked up the racetrack just a little bit. The 1 seems to get through the bumps just a little bit better than he is right now.
4 to go, opening stage. Allgaier, this is such a great history of the 1.5 miles. You think about what he's done this year as the championship leader, just absolutely piling up the stage points, and here he is in position.
Oh,
for
and 7 is loose.
But boy, that thing is dancing.
again.
Hang on, Allgaier, here comes Zilich.
Justin's car is terrible going through the bumps. You saw it bottoming out, sparks flying out the back. It's now Corey Day. He's going to use the momentum he has off turn 4, going to follow Zilich through. Justin just fighting that car on the outside. Look at the run he's going to have on the exit of turn 2 right here.
I tell you what, these cars are a lot looser than what they were to start the race. So those adjustments that all these teams made after that first pit stop, you're starting to see, could it be a slight over adjustment?
And look at Chastain. I mean, it was like, where was he, right? And all of a sudden, he's right back in the game, up to 3rd, looking at 2nd, 2 to go, stage 1.
The 7 car looks decent through turns 1 and 2, but the back of that car is all over the place through turns 3 and 4, and I can't imagine that's going to get better the longer we run right here. All 3 Junior Motorsports cars running 1st, 2nd, and 3rd right now.
Even, door, quarter, still there.
Talked about the role the spotters will play. Challenges seeing with the fog. Good information there for Allgaier. Final lap, opening stage. Zilich out front, pretty comfortable. Side by side for 2nd. Chastain and Allgaier. Day right behind him.
Oh, Chastain slides up the track, missed the bottom just a little bit there. Justin has done an amazing job of hanging on with a car that just does not look like it's handling very well. You see sparks flying out of both those first 2 cars as they go through the bumps. All of them trying to get to that line on the bottom where we know the grip is.
Zilich, 10 wins last year, 2 this year. And he's got a stage victory at Charlotte. Finishes in front of his teammate. In fact, it's a 1-2-3 finish in the opening stage for Junior Motorsports. Zilich, Allgaier, Chastain. Last week's winner, Corey Day, was 4th. Sam Mayer gets back to the top 5. It was showtime to wrap up this first 45-lap run of the race. Oh, my goodness, Allgaier with a highlight reel. Been a long day for our crew, long day for the drivers, teams, and the fans. But we're soldiering on late on a Saturday evening. It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Charbroil 300.
Well,
Connor Zillett wins that opening stage.
Denny and I both agreed we thought they would all come down pit road right here. It looked like a lot of guys were hanging on.
Oh, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Pit road is open, and here they are coming down the progressive pit lane, Dylan.
Connor Zillett was one of many that got a little bit free on that run, and that was his exact words. Just a little free, need some more rear grip. They're going to take a half pound out of the right rear, 4 tires and fuel, Kim.
Free was also the word for Corey Day in the 17. Said just a little free when I load right rear hard. You also see Justin Allgaier in. No surprise there. Super free this run, he said. Lost a bunch of rear grip. A 4-number shift, he said, from the beginning of the race. They did drop the track bar. Ross Chastain fired off tight. Hit the ground quite a bit, he said. Adding tape to the left side as well as air pressure adjustment.
And now the race off progressive pit road. Justin Allgaier wins the race off. +9 for Austin Hill. Some strategy going down here. Zillett, because those two up front did such a nice job, loses a couple after winning the stage. Status quo for Corey Day, +1 for Lug. Let's go to Carla Metz.
That's right, Adam. Powerball is here at Charlotte Motor Speedway this weekend, taking over the CW Sports Bar, where they're giving fans the chance to win big with the Race to the Chase sweepstakes. Fans visiting the CW Sports Bar in North Carolina Education Lottery ticket booths can enter 3 prize drawings throughout the weekend, with today's grand prize sending 1 lucky winner and a guest to NASCAR Championship Weekend in Miami. Don't forget to head to your local lottery retailer to get in the game for tonight's estimated Powerball jackpot of $131 million.
Thank you, Carla. A couple of drivers looking to hit the lottery with their strategy here. We saw Allgaier get out quick, and we weren't sure exactly what strategy they played. Allgaier comes down, goes fuel only. That 4-second pit stop,
shocking.
He wins the race.
Looking at the balance of that car,
yep.
That's all they did.
They did make a little adjustment, but no tires. And then it was 2 tires for Austin Hill, who came off second. So 4 tires, the first off there, the man that won the stage, and that would be Connor Zillett. Let's get an update with Kim.
Yeah, for Justin Allgaier, you said it, Adam. No tires. They did drop the track bar because of that free condition, but checked in with Andrew Overstreet. He thinks the tires are going to hold on from when they stopped at lap 28, and then he wants to be really aggressive later in the race, so this gives him an extra set of tires compared to the rest of the field.
I'm always torn on whether the extra set of tires is good when you're the only one.
You have to be in the group. Yeah, you don't want to be that.
You know
outlier.
what I mean? Like, it just depends on, was there going to be 25 on the lead lap? Is it, you can't afford to restart 25th with 10 to go, right? It's so it's interesting strategy. I think he will probably pay a price here on this run, and we talked about, does it go long? If it goes long, he could really lose some track position.
So here are a couple of things I would say. As you think about this could be a shorter run, right? Because we're running these laps early in the stage, so we're going to have less than 40 to go in the stage once we go green. The other thought I would have here, though, when you make a call like this is, if you play the long game, but we know tonight's race maybe doesn't go the scheduled distance, so you never get that opportunity. So a whole lot to think about here when you make a call like that, and we'll see how it plays for the 17.
We have seen saving that extra set of tires win this race, though. It has played out that way. But boy, the caution's all got to fall just right for you. And to me, it's all going to be about what does he lose right here. We talked about those lap times being quicker than the pole from last year, but they faded pretty quick. I mean, it was about 3/4 of a second they gave up over those 8 laps.
So the good news is for him, he's got a little bit of a buffer, right? He's got the 21 behind him with only 2 tires. So the really important thing is when you're staying out or you're going to be at a tire disadvantage, you don't want brand new 4 tires on your bumper or beside you. So it's about the first couple corners. If you can just hold off the bulk of the cars for the first few corners, you usually can level out somewhat, but I still think he's going to lose.
My fear is the launch. He's not going to get to have that launch that we talk about the inside car having the advantage of. now I think he's almost going to be at a disadvantage.
Hey, Blaine Perkins, though, stayed out. They pitted after the red flag, right? So, I mean, you know, that helps him too, right? I mean, as we talk about buffer, it's not huge, but every little bit can help in this situation to get that clean air, take control of the race. So Allgaier will be outside here. Perkins, the control car, goes from the inside. Outside of row 2, Austin Hill is on those 2 tires, and the first guy on 4 that came down there winning the stage, Connor Zilic, number 1 inside row 2.
It's gonna be fun for us to watch and kind of learn with them of how much of an advantage are they or disadvantage are they.
Bold prediction, Connor Zilic is 3 wide into turn 1.
Well, we'll find out soon. Here they are in the Echo Park Automotive restart zone, back to green for stage 2.
See that outside row stacking up just a little bit. Some of those guys having better tires behind. Connor trying to get inside. Blaine does a nice job, though, not allowing him to get there. But you see the 31 washing up. The one's going to fill that gap down the backstretch.
4 wide. Are you kidding me? Down the back straightaway. Allgaier gets the lead in a spinner. Brandon Jones, Brent Cruz, and others involved.
Saw the 19 get hooked right there. Brandon Jones was the first to go around.
Well, this is huge for the 19 of Brent Cruz, because they came in right around that chase cut line after missing those 4 races, and their margin for error is just not where they would want it to be. Heavy damage for Brandon Jones, and the other car involved here, another Toyota, the 24 of Harrison Burton from Sam Hunt Racing. They were right around the 10th position when the crash took place.
Yeah, I think we're going to see they just kind of ran out of room there into turn 3, but you know, this is a tough break for Brent. I thought in the very first run he probably had one of the best cars. You know, looking at the lap times and how far he drove up the field.
Here's 19 radio, Brent Cruz and his team.
Yeah, I'm good. Did the 20 just hook me or what? There were other people above him. Don't really see. I'm sure they ran into them.
Yeah, I think that actually started from Sheldon Creed getting into the back of the 20, and that's who hooked. You see Brandon Jones right there. Sheldon Creed is the car right behind Brandon Jones, the red and white car almost in the middle of your screen.
Yeah, it's like he realized we don't want to be 4 wide, and he tried to get back in line maybe.
Yeah, just slight contact with Brandon Jones. It spun him around, got him into Brent Cruz, and then that collected Harrison Burton.
Hate that for Harrison Burton. It's been a tough year for him. But since he's a part of this conversation, want to take a moment, say congratulations to his dad, Jeff, going to be going into the Hall of Fame in 2027 as a part of the class. He and Harvick, the headliners, and we congratulate all those, but wanted to make sure we got Jeff into the broadcast tonight with Harrison Racing.
I think Sheldon was trying to get out of the gas right there, trying to, you know, let the 20 get back in line.
Yeah, I can see where his thought process was, that, you know, I can get to the outside of the 20, but it was like he thought better of it, but it was too late by the time, you know, that decision happened.
Caution comes out 8 laps in to our second stage.
Gosh, look at Jeremy Clements on the bottom of your screen, dirt tracking around the apron.
Like Kyle Sieg as well got sideways on the apron.
You can actually hear Sheldon lift out of the throttle trying to just get back in line. I think he meant anything by that.
Going to take a break. Early portion of stage 2 at Charlotte for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Allgaier in charge of the field. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by Golden Corral. Golden Corral honors our nation's heroes. Progressive Insurance. Get in the savings lane today. Visit progressive.com. And by Toyota. Let's go places. This weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway has been all about celebrating the life of Kyle Busch. We lost him on Thursday. Thoughts and prayers to the family, and so good here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, winning 9 times in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Coke 600 tomorrow. He won that crown jewel race at NASCAR's top level back in 2018, and we'll be thinking about him all weekend, the weeks and months going forward, and that entire family. So there were 6 cars involved in this crash that produces our 4th caution of the evening. Justin Allgaier's leading. Let's get a little Starkey radio here. This is Better Hearing Month. Starkey can help you hear best. Scan the QR code to take a short free online hearing test at starkey.com. Now let's listen in to Starkey Radio Communication.
Damn, this fog is thick. I'm not going to lie, this is a challenge. Yeah, copy.
Yeah, they're referencing the spotter being able to see the cars. Adam used a highly technical weather term, the ceiling. It is getting lower. You know, we talked about it when we first went back green, it looked really good, but whew, it is marginal right now for these guys.
It's foggy, no doubt, looking out the window here.
Yeah, you get a good look at what the perspective, this is what a spotter will most likely see, and man, it's hard to distinguish your car from those others. Obviously, like if you're Brandon Jones, you see that neon colored car, it's easy, but a lot of white cars out there, a lot of red cars, and they all look the same when the spotters don't have a clear perspective.
I'll tell you what, I was actually surprised the 7 went through turn 1
too.
pretty good there. Yeah, if you look, Connor Zilch back to 9th. He got boxed in behind Blaine Perkins through turns 1 and 2. You know, we saw him try to go 3 wide, thought better of it. Unfortunately, what that does just kills your momentum for the inside line there, and he got boxed in all the way back to 9th. I mean, he's got to rebound, but or I guess he's about 8th now. So, but overall, just really surprised that the 7 was able to hang on and run as quick as he did through 1 and 2.
And the advantage, I always felt like once you had a few laps and the caution came out, the advantage of the stickers is a little bit less. It's not as big of an advantage. So Connor having, you know, worse track position and not having that just brand new sticker tire. But Allgaier, the decision of the 7 team, it's working out well for them here. We'll see just kind of how that translates into a 15 or 20 lap run, but he did a great job being able to get the lead. See, once again, they chose the bottom. That doesn't even seem to be a discussion right now. Everybody, the leader is automatically going to the bottom every single time right now. Even though we've seen the middle of turns 1 and 2 have really good speed, if you can say side by side on these restarts.
You guys referenced Connor Zilch, inside lane for the last restart, outside here. Here's 1 radio.
Just a heads up, my visibility in 1 and 2 is probably the worst it's been, for sure. Yeah, 10-4. Visibility is still really bad, especially in 2.
Well, he obviously is referenced what we talked about with the weather and the ceiling getting lower. Denny, you mentioned him being 3 wide on that last restart. You can almost guarantee it being on the outside lane. We saw Jesse Love do this earlier. The top of 1 and 2, if you get back 4 or 5 rows, just getting in clean air is such a big advantage. You pay attention to the 1 car here, and you'll see him.
Yeah, he's still behind the 31.
Yeah, right.
So.
Allgaier in charge, inside lane, as he comes through the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Austin Hill to his right.
Chastain spun him a little bit there.
Yeah, Corey Day, the 2nd car on the inside, has done an awesome job of being able to push that leader multiple times. But look at Austin Hill staying right on the quarter panel. Allgaier sliding up the racetrack a little bit.
Here comes Zilch on the outside.
Chastain outside lane. Hill gets to the lead. Reference Zilch, he's right there. Jesse Love in the game, painting that blue and white line inside of the 2 car.
Oh, and this is where it's going to be a struggle for the 7 because now he doesn't have that clean air we talked about. It's a huge advantage to have that. So he's on a little bit older tires, and now he's got some cars in front of him. Fortunately, they're far enough out that Oh, the 7 is super loose right there through turns 1 and 2. The car, that balance has not tightened up since we started this stage.
Chastain trying to get the top spot away. 9 digging inside. He goes back to the point. So strong a week ago at Dover, winning a stage after starting on the pole. Number 9 has it in the wind again.
And Adam, honestly, based on what we've seen so far in this short amount of laps we've run, I think the 9 probably has the best car. He's come from kind of mid-pack at the start. Oh, look how loose.
Wow,
Oh,
Sam Mayer.
wow.
I mean, that thing wiggled, got away, nothing he could do, and the Wheeling caution lights are out again.
Gosh, he tried to save that, kind of overcorrected, and you saw it shoot up in the middle of the corner.
He was 6th.
Wow.
And they really...
Yeah, he just got really loose and lost the car.
You know, from a driver's perspective, when it gets loose, you start counter steering, and it's you got to almost then start going the other direction before it hooks, because if it does hook, you'll see right here when that left rear tire grabs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of a 3-wide battle and bad aero spot. You're loose anyway, and this is the end result.
The damage, that front suspension just bouncing on and off that car, and he's saying they're done because as a driver, you kind of know based on those impacts, the damage. We'll take a look right here. Gosh, that view is tough for these guys. See Sam in the middle. See, he's already loose right there. Got Corey Data is outside, and just huge impact to the right front of that car.
Yeah, I think he was really close to the 17 on corner entry. And with these O'Reilly cars, I'm telling you, they get so loose when you got somebody right on the right side door, and there's just, it was a tight spot for those 3 cars to be.
Did you see that safer barrier start moving as soon as he had the impact? It's been a tough year for Mayer as well. You think about all the issues they've had. I remember the fuel pump, the flat tires. It's been just a little bit of everything for the 41. They thought their luck had turned around. Look at this. Watch that barrier. Oh, you see that steel slide in, the foam compress.
But, you know, if you think about Mayer, they had started to come on 2 of the last 3 weeks. He had finished up there in the top 5. I scored a lot of stage points, and we're starting, you felt like, to put things together.
You know, I just looking at that, the 17 was just maybe a little bit low on the racetrack. I mean, he's 3 wide. There's enough room for 3 cars there, or 2 cars below him, but, you know, it just puts that 41 in just such a bad aero spot. You'll see him get really close, right on corner entry here. And that's the point where you just, as a driver, you got no ability to control the car.
And Sam drove the hell out of that thing for about 4 seconds sideways. Watch how long he gets sideways here. Right here, it gets out from underneath him. He's chasing it, chasing it, chasing it, chasing it. It starts to get even a little bit more yawed out, and then it grabs right here. Just boom, massive impact into the right front.
Let's check in with Carla Metz.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, Brandon Jones just released from the medical center, involved in that first incident. We've talked a lot about the fog since we've restarted this race. What was the communication like with your spotter right before that?
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly not Lambert's fault on top of the roof. I was initially a little frustrated with the 19 putting me 3 wide, but after I get back and I watch that a little bit, the 00, I don't know, it just kind of never lifted. And I guess probably thought he was just going to regenerate my momentum, but when he did, it just shot me dead left into the 19 car. So, I mean, sit around here all freaking night long, and this is how it ends. I was pretty frustrated about that, but I don't know. I guess I should have been closer to the front than I was there as well. So, hate it for Pennington and Menards. We haven't had very many DNFs this year, and we've been doing really good about getting a lot of points. So, today's kind of a wash, I guess, for us. But whenever we do get the truck race in, I've got redemption in that. So, looking forward to getting in the next one. Hate it for our guys, though. This one hurts.
Thanks. A little frustration from the 20, Adam.
And Brandon, as he referenced, one of the many drivers running multiple races this weekend here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hopefully trucks can get going here tomorrow morning. Under caution for the 5th time here at Charlotte. Let's get our Mobil 1 leaderboard. Leading this race, Chastain in front of Hill, Love, Allgaier, and Corey Day. Wheeling caution lights are on. What you're seeing on the track right now is the same Wheeling emergency warning technology used by police, fire, and EMS vehicles across America, trusted every day to protect those who protect us. Let's go down to the medical center one more time. Here's Carla.
And Brent Cruz also just released from the medical center. Brent, we were talking with your teammate, Brandon Jones. He mentioned going 3 wide with you. From your vantage point, what happened?
Yeah, he just talked to me about it after he got finished interviewing and just was talking about the push that he got. So we talked a little bit right after the wreck, and I think we were both like a little upset about the situation, and I don't think he knew what really made him get hooked and if I left him enough room, but we just talked it out right there, and he said it was a bad push. So we're all square there. It sucks. I hate it for our team. Our young life number 19 Toyota GR Supra was really, really good today. We drove, holy smokes, that was hard. We drove from like 18th to 6th and like 15 laps of green flag racing, and only got a couple laps there before that crash. But it sucks we had to go through this when we had this good of a car. Wish it would have been on a day where we weren't as good, but blessed to be here and to be racing tonight.
Let's get 7 team radio prior to the restart.
My only fear, if I have one, is we get to halfway or the end of stage 2 and they call it because of the fog. That's my biggest worry right now, if I'm being honest with you. I understand.
Go ahead. Well, Justin, you should have pitted. I'm not really sure.
Well, we'll wait and see. We got a long way to go.
I think he's going to wish he pitted in about 6 laps.
It's going to be tough restarting right here.
Chastain in control from the inside lane. Halfway point, stage 2.
Restarts, he has been so strong, not just on the launches, but really just these first few laps. When I looked at the lap times, he ran the fastest lap of the race just on that last restart when he took the lead. He's just been so strong for these first few laps. 3 wide, though.
Yeah, we talked about JRM cars and how fast they've been. What about the 2 RCR cars? You see Austin Hill, Jesse Love going for the lead. Austin Hill on the outside got the lead on the last restart. So RCR having a great night as well here.
Jesse Love flashing through.
Little wave.
A little peace sign out the window. Thank you very much. Reigning champ on point. And you think about the significance of this. You know, RCR and everything this organization has dealt with the last couple of days with the passing of Kyle Busch, and now to have 2 of their cars in the top 4, and Jesse Love, who talked about Kyle being his hero out front leading this race.
See, Jesse Love was all the way on the bottom. Chastain ran the middle, carries all that momentum now down the front stretch. See how hard Jesse can race him on the outside. I think the preferred lane is, oh, you see Chastain slides up in front of him. It's going to lose a little bit of his momentum on exit. Pulls down, is able to block Jesse. It just seems like now that we've run a few laps, that traction compound, well, now they're going right back. Ooh, Chastain missed the bottom. The 2's going to be able to get right back inside of him here.
Yeah, lots of times what will happen, too, if you miss the bottom, you'll get that right front hung in that seam, and you can't get it down there.
Love not going away. What a good battle for the lead.
Oh, he does the same thing. Slides
Love,
up in front.
Chastain, crossover from the 9. All this happening in front of Corey Day, and as these 2 race it out on point, 17 rallying now.
You think everybody's frantic about getting to the end of stage 2 and being the leader here? I think there's a lot of discussion of what's the distance of this race going to be as Chastain's not clear right there and starts to slide up again. Jesse Love still being on his outside.
Yeah, and you know his spotter's letting him know that he's holding you tight. So at that point, you got to slow down your pace a little bit. Make sure you keep your car under control.
Corey Day doing the same thing we saw last week at Dover that allowed him to get to the lead of that race, running really high, getting some clean air. This end of the track's a little bit rougher. Oh, you see him get a little loose. Look how high the 17 is again. I think Chastain's even defending right there. I think his car just slid up in the middle of the corner.
What a great race.
Corey Day, no practice,
incredible.
No qualifying, go to school, get it done.
There's no denying that the races on Saturday in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series are, I mean, every week we talk about how exciting it is to watch these guys go at it. It's fun here. We got a guy that won the Coke 600 last year and Ross Chastain leading the defending champ, and then a guy that's a rookie in the series. All of them battling it out, running different lines on the racetrack.
Couple of kids from California, second and third, going at it, Denny.
Well, with this platformer race car, this is what makes the O'Reilly series so good, is that
contact! Chastain into the wall.
Everyone went up the track.
Yeah, I mean, and the reaction behind him, obviously something was going on there.
Still green, though. You got to wonder.
There's cars in the back of the pack in the wall.
Wonder if there's something on the track. It
might be wet, guys.
Wheel and caution lights are on. And with all that happening and some of the shuffle that took place, William Sawalich was up there in that mix, and Allgaier, who had faded back to ninth, is now drifting even more. And we're riding here with Sheldon Creed, who's obviously got problems.
Yeah, Sheldon, we saw the contact with Chastain down through 1 and 2. Sheldon hit really hard.
There's something on the racetrack, or it's wet. The whole field's in the wall.
Let's get 9 team radio here. Ross Chastain.
Oil on the track.
Yeah, so it almost looks like the guys that ran just a little lower on entry to turn 1 have hit the fence. They think there's oil maybe on the track. There you go. I was gonna say it could be from Dawson Cram. From those other guys, the contact we saw with Taylor Gray, that was from hitting this oil. You see these guys pushing the
belt is off it, Mike.
So you heard him reference right there that the oil pump belt has come off. Oh, you look at that. You can see, and he was down about a groove and a half where we were talking about.
Yeah, it's right in the preferred groove, so that's where everyone's going to enter the corner.
Look at Corey Day, how loose he is up on top already.
Just incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at all those guys.
Wow.
Everyone that drove in and Justin turning down off the wall to get away from Gray that had hit the fence. That was all about, 2 foot difference was the difference in being in that oil and maybe being just a little bit above it. Look at all those guys.
A couple of other drivers that got through there. Cole Custer driving the 0. 91 this week being piloted by Carson Quapple. He was able to get through. Riding now with Sheldon Creed.
It's huge contact for those 2 guys. So unfortunate that didn't see that before everyone drove through there. Dawson was a little bit behind the field, kind of running by himself on the racetrack. I got a lot of cars.
Yeah, we know that. I mean, the 00, you can see the right front camber far too much compared to where they started. So, I mean, that's pretty much done. The 54, it's got issues now. Terminal issues.
Here. I mean, as you think about maybe we're racing to the end of stage 2, right? I mean, or that's a possibility when we think about all the elements here from a weather standpoint. Usually in this situation, you would never come down pit road, right? Burn a set of tires. But I start thinking about some of the plays that you can make here and, how you might think about this knowing that we're going to be 15, 16, 13, 14 laps away from that ending of the stage, and maybe tires would do something for you here if you could make a run. There's just a whole lot to think about with the way this race is playing out.
I'm thinking, what about if you're Justin, you've saved that set of tires, maybe now is when you take a chance. You've got a massive point lead.
Yeah, what do you have to lose?
Maybe it puts you in the right position. This is going to take a little while to clean up as we've seen the 35 car. Watch this perspective right here. They talked about that oil pump belt not being on the engine, Adam. When that comes off, you obviously lose oil pressure, and then the engine blows up. Most likely it's put a hole in the oil pan, and that's what is leaked all over the racetrack. Is now, Allgaier, who had some contact we see on pit road here. He's hit hard because there's no Goodyear left on the right side of those tires. You see the crush panel. Yeah, all bent in right here.
It's not a strategy play at all. This is just damage repair for the 7.
But they can't afford to put those tires on now and not be behind. Yeah, so it could work out to be an advantage. We'll see. Just depends on how much damage he actually has to that car.
Yeah, the right sides of these O'Reilly cars are they're resilient. They can handle some contact. It's just a matter of did something get bent. You know what I mean? All it takes is to knock one of these right side wheels out or in, 20,000s, and your car is just going to drive dramatically different than what it's supposed to.
Let's get back down to Carla.
3 cautions so far since we've gone back racing tonight. Sam Mayer involved in the second one. You almost saved it. What happened out there?
I didn't almost save it. It was far from that. I had about 3 more seconds in me maybe, but I think I hit the traction compound just right, and right hooked me into the wall. But yeah, definitely a bummer. I was really looking forward to getting it back going in the Charbroil Chevy. Just one of those aero spots, like I'm watching the replay right now. Just one of those aero spots that the one kind of stuffed in there late. I gave it to him, and the 17 was kind of doing his own thing, and there just wasn't enough room really for how fast we're going. Like we are absolutely ripping around Charlotte right now, and it's a lot of fun, but things happen really, really fast now, and it just happened a little too fast there for me. But almost saved it, like you said. I needed a little more room, and I would have been all right, but definitely a bummer. Everyone on the Haas Factory team did a really good job bringing a fast Charbroil Chevy, but definitely a bummer we didn't get to finish this thing out. The track's really fun right now. I'm bummed I can't get a backup car and go out there and run some more laps just because, but yeah, definitely wish we could run more laps here.
It's been a tough stage 2 for Haas Factory team. Sam Mayer chronicling what happened to him when it got away from him, and Sheldon Creed involved in the incident that brought out our 6th caution of the night. Back in a moment with Ross Chastain leading at Charlotte.
Shit.
O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, racing late on a Saturday night, trying to finish things up at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Let's take a look at this replay, brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. In all, 8 cars hit the wall after fluid got down on the track.
Yeah, look at those guys go in there. You can tell there's oil, and Denny mentioned that everybody that entered just that car length off the wall, goes in, hits the oil, slides up. Allgaier, who was running the top 5 at that time, he's been on pit road multiple times trying to get that car tuned up. That's a great perspective of exactly where that oil was. We saw some of the cars enter, you know, just above that, and it was fine. But if you entered anywhere near where that oil was, once you hit it and you lose the grip, it's just like hitting ice.
Yeah, and that is the preferred groove right there. It's, you know, 5/8 of the way up the racetrack is kind of where you want to be.
It's pretty interesting. You know, we got 29 cars showing on the lead lap here. And I thought maybe, you know, someone would come down, risk it, get some tires, and see what they could make a play on here as we head toward the end of stage 2 and what could become an official race. But all those guys up front electing to stay out just because of, I'm assuming, just so many cars on the lead lap, you can't give up the track position here because you can't make enough of the tires, kind of something you talked about earlier, Denny.
And you got to think that mindset, once we get to the end of stage 2, and it restarts, that mindset shifts then to,
Absolutely.
okay, well, it's probably the end of the race now.
Yeah.
But right now, everybody's mindset is, we think the end of the race could be here in 12 laps. And how many are going to be green? Because it's going to take a little while to clean up the mess of oil that we see down in the middle of turns 1 and 2.
This season's flying by. Tonight's round 15. Let's take a look at our chase standings as they run. And I would say it's significant just because we've had so many guys around that bubble that have experienced issues tonight. We talk about Mayer, we talk about Gray. Been an okay night for Carruth. Brent Cruz, you know, after Watkins Glen, he had jumped above that cut line, even though he had missed those 4 races. But problems last week at Dover, the crash tonight, and now once again he's playing catch up with the rest of the field.
What about Parker Retzloff up at 9th? Had that, you know, bad run last week, got caught up in a wreck early at Dover. Talked about the great season that he and that organization of Viking Motorsports are having, and he's having another great run here. Had to start in the back. He's up to 12th place, has kept the nose clean, cars clean. Going to have another great run for Parker. And his teammate, Anthony Alfredo, I see right there, I didn't realize, right behind him in 13th. So Viking Motorsports again continuing to have another great run with both of those cars.
Speaking of teammates, let's shift the focus to Richard Childress Racing. Love Hill running 2nd and 3rd in this race. And I referenced what a challenging few days it's been for this organization with the passing of Kyle Busch. And Jesse Love posting this earlier, talking about what Kyle meant to him. My first hero, the first driver I ever wanted to be like, and now to be in a position to go out and win, the ultimate tribute for Kyle. And Austin Hill, who will drive the 33 tomorrow night in the Coke 600. RCR is not going to run the 8 for the foreseeable future. They've switched it to the 33. Austin Hill drives tomorrow. And here is the statement he made. Quite simply, no one will ever replace KB. Both those drivers right where they need to be to go out and get a victory tonight.
Well, they're sitting in a great position right here. We saw Chastain. I don't know how much damage there is to the 9 car. I know he stayed out right here, but he had pretty good contact with the wall, and it looked to me like those other guys were able to stay off. So when we go back to our restart here, we're going to see exactly what kind of speed he has. And, you know, Adam, it's been 5 hours since we started this race. And I mentioned, you know, you try not to have favorites up here, but it's hard not to pull for Jesse Love or Austin Hill, you know, knowing the fact that Kyle Busch, you know, was a part of that organization and what he meant to those 2 guys. Be a special win for either one of them.
No doubt. Let's go down to Dillon.
Let's give you a Toyota driver update on the 4th place running car. That's William Sawalich, who had a good run last weekend, finished 4th at Dover. That was his best finish since his win at Rockingham in early April. And I thought that I spoke with Trevor Bain earlier, who works with a lot of the Toyota drivers, and I thought he had an interesting thing to say about what he and William have been working on, and that's restarts, and there's been a lot of them tonight. He mentioned that William has a tendency sometimes after restarts to overslow his entry into turn one. It's almost like the slow pace of the restarts sort of gets his lift points messed up going into turn one on the first lap after a restart. So they worked really, really hard this week on that specific thing, trying to correct that, trying to get him to be more aggressive on his entries into turn one on the restarts. I think it's worked so far. He's made nice progress, and he's gotten a lot of practice at it tonight, Kim. We've had several restarts here since we went back green.
Well, Dylan, let's get some damage update on a couple of JRM cars. First, Justin Allgaier, we saw him down pit road multiple times. Justin radioing to his crew chief, Andrew Overstreet, just asking what the damage was like. And Andrew said, look, the right front fender still has all its shape, so get ready to rip it. Then Justin said, well, where was the damage kind of concentrated? And Andrew said, damage looks like typical damage you would get running against the wall. So they don't seem overly concerned. And then his teammate Ross Chastain in the 9 leading. He was one of the cars that got damaged that we did not see on pit road. Crew chief Philip Bell saying that everything body-wise looks like it's still connected. Ross saying, though, that the right rear crush panel, he can tell, is deformed on the inside, but they think they'll be good to go to the end of this stage.
Yeah, Ross probably sees that in his rearview mirror. You know, usually you have your rearview mirror up there to where you can kind of spot yourself on the right rear when you're up beside a car. And so he probably sees that a little bit of wrinkle over there in that right rear quarter panel. And
you can hear it too.
Yes.
Once the gravel and stuff starts flying inside the car.
And I was looking at like Justin Allgaier's car when he hit the wall. It was pretty flush, right? And so these cars the right sides can take a beating, and actually sometimes they want to. The right sides want to be flatter more so than to have shape. So as long as it didn't hurt the wheels, he actually could be in a decent spot.
And Justin, you know, was asking about what the damage looks like. When you're sitting in his perspective, it all looks the same. Unless the hood is wrinkled and you can see it, you don't really know the damage. But from a driver's perspective, that orange line on his steering wheel that you see like at the 12 o'clock position, that's your sign. If that's where it's supposed to be, if that line is exact, and it could be offset a little bit based on where he started the race, but if right now that line is where it was when he started the race, that makes you feel good. You know the front tires are still in a similar position as to what they started, and that would make me feel the best of anything.
Here's what I also think he wants to do. He wants to know how hard to charge turn one. And if they're saying, well, your right rear tail's knocked off, he's not going to go into turn one with the speed and commitment to pass what he's hoping probably going to be 8 cars in the first corner. So he's really just wanting to know, is this thing straight? If it is, I'm going for it.
And I like they said, get ready to rip it. That's exactly what he wanted to hear.
You know, this cleanup has taken a good amount of time, and you got to go out, put down the speedy dry, and then, you know, blow it off and so on. And with all of that, you know, we're winding the laps down here in stage 2. This is going to be a short little run to the green and white checkered flag.
Listen, this is important they get this right, though. This is one of those moments that when there's oil on the track, and Denny's references multiple times, that is the preferred groove. And I can tell you 190 miles an hour when you're driving off into turn one, you want to be confident that they have cleaned that oil up. So to take a little more time here is what they need to do, because the worst thing we could do is go back green and not have this cleaned up correctly and wad some more cars up.
And you know what this also could do is end up playing back into the advantage of the 7, because he's going to be able to flip this because he's going to have no laps on his
I was going to say,
yes.
Instead of charging, just ride in the back. You don't go a lap down, save those tires, and then boom, gain the track position when everybody else comes down pit road. I like it. Crew chief.
I like it. Denny
Hamden,
I like
ladies
it.
and gentlemen. Let's go back down to the pit lane. Carla?
Sheldon Creed just exited the medical center. Obviously, we've talked about the oil spill. First of all, did you see it? And second of all, how wild of a ride was that?
Yeah, I didn't see it, didn't know it was there, and I don't know if whoever blew up made smoke or anything, so I don't know if anyone really knew it was down there, but I seen the 54 take off in front of me, and we were both running the bottom, and yeah, I kind of got there and thought my right front went down first, and then, yeah, I want to apologize. The 20, the 19, and the 24, I think, was involved in that. I was kind of there, and the hole closed quickly, and yeah, not my intention to wreck anyone, but unfortunate for our Road Ranger Chevrolet team, and That our car was pretty decent. Obviously, everyone was really fast on the short run on new tires, and yeah, it just took me a little bit to get going, but I felt like we were going to turn it into a good night, and yeah, we're going to do some oil.
Thank you, Carla. I said we're going back down to Carla on pit road. She's obviously at the care center. She's been making a living down there here in stage 2. Other thing to point out, Brandon Jones involved in that crash. He is back on track now, many laps down. NASCAR changed the rule this week in O'Reilly and the Truck Series. Just like Cup, you can go to the garage, make repairs, come back out, meet minimum speed, stay in the game. It's just significant when you think about our new point structure.
Especially tonight.
Yeah,
With
absolutely.
wrecking cars, it's huge tonight to get back out there.
Let's go 21 radio, Austin Hill and his group.
All right, listen, I don't think they're going to go past 90 here, so I would choose whatever you got to choose to win the race.
See, our leader for the first time has taken the outside here.
Going to be 5 laps to go in the stage. And keep this in mind, with everything we're facing in regard to the elements, this restart could be for the race win.
This is
Go
gonna
get all you can, because there's a lot going on and some big decisions could have to be made once we get to the end of stage 2 here.
I'm going to tell you, these spotters are really going to have a challenging job.
And we just got word we're adding a lap, so we're not going to go green this time.
Well, sitting here, being able to watch the track, it's like every, oh, look at that.
Yeah, we got a miss now.
It's like every 3 minutes the weather is kind of coming and going, like the visibility. I don't know, is it necessarily raining right now? It's just like this heavy fog.
Yeah, you can see it in the lights up here. It's just damp. It's damp air.
Let's hear from William Sawalich and his team. The 18 scored 4th right now.
Little moist.
Yeah, I would think so. We've had a pretty heavy mist come in, and it's actually made it even more difficult to see here. Like way more difficult.
Yeah, that's bad.
I said he was 4th. He was 4th prior to the choose, setting up on that inside lane when we think about the restart.
Let's go on board with a car and get the perspective that driver sees out their windshield, because ultimately, I mean, as I look at that right now, I don't see drops on the windshield, and that makes me feel good. The mist is one thing. Ooh,
yeah, I do it to the right. Yeah, if you look to the right side there.
Yeah, you see there's so much moisture. It's not necessarily drops on the windshield, but when we saw the top right out of Justin Allgaier's windshield, you could see there was enough mist building up that the speed of the car was actually moving that. Yeah, if you look on that top right, when the lights hit it just right, quite a bit of moisture. Obviously, nothing. That radar's been useless
so
today.
Small, it's just
throw that thing away.
Even their radar isn't going to show it.
Yes.
It's just been such a bizarre day. I wouldn't have thought there was any chance we would get Cup cars on track, but you guys got a good chunk of practice. But even when you guys were out there, we had moisture, in the air, and we could see it from time to time.
And usually the track can stay pretty dry as long as there's heat in it. It can sustain a certain amount of moisture, but I don't know if it's looking at the right side of the 7's windshield. It's like, as a driver, I would not feel that comfortable going into turn 1.
And I can tell you, Ross Chastain thinks it's pouring rain right now, leading this race on the outside. He's like, it's terrible. No chance we're going back.
Think about Junior Motorsports. 8 wins this year in 14 races with 4 different drivers. 4 of their 5 different card numbers have been to victory lane. 9 team got it done with Shane Van Gisbergen at Circuit of the Americas earlier this year. Chastain's had a lot of success in this series with a lot of different teams, but in the last couple of years running for that 9 bunch at Junior Motorsports has been unable to join the list of drivers that have pulled it into victory lane. Back down to the medical center in Carla.
Yeah, and Taylor Gray also involved in that oil spill. How disappointing is it that your night ended this way?
Yeah, I mean, super disappointing, right? It's not good for us points-wise, and I felt like we were one adjustment away from being pretty solid. So, yeah, really disappointed for my guys, everyone Jacobs Racing, the 54 group, right? They worked so hard throughout the week, and for it to end this way is disappointing. But move on to Nashville, have a good Nashville, and then get some of those points back.
tell you what, Carla's worked harder than anybody
on
TV today. She's done more interviews than all of us.
Yeah, Carla, you just hang out there. We'll send more to you here shortly.
Right.
Won't be long before I need to go down there.
You can see the track actually starting to get kind of shiny as the lights hit it. You get just the right angle. It's nice that the cars are still out there running, but they're almost going to have to bring the jet dryers back out just to knock that little bit of moisture off the track. You can see it in the headlights of that pace car. A little bit of sheen on the track. That's what the drivers will look for out there. And they'll also notice as they are swerving back and forth, you can feel the grip or the lack of grip.
Well, we're going to have 2 to go on the stage next time around.
Tell you, if we can get this going green, the position of those guys that pitted and have put tires on,
gold.
The leaders are going to have to pit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're not going to stay out here if we go back, and that 7 car is going to be in a great position again. See Cole Custer moving up all the way to the top of the track, probably just doing that on his own, trying to run as wide as you can, just to keep the track as dry as they can.
Carson Kvapil with that 91. Third start he's had for Mario Gosselin this year. He's up there in 10th. The team car, Leland Honeyman, making his first start of the year back there in 16th. So a real good night for DGM.
About last week's winner, Corey Day. We got some words from him.
I know he wants to, you know, car looks like it's fast enough to go win. And I know I want the whole race too, but it's kind of dangerous a little bit also. Just really frustrating.
Well, yeah, we've been here all day. Everybody's frustrated, and all these guys want to do is be able to go back in racing. But the reality is it is dangerous right now with the moisture you see on the racetrack, the fact that the spotters can't see, and this has been a wild race. I mean, that it's been intense because no one knows how long the race is going to be, and then you throw in on top of that a car blowing up and oiling down turn 1 and all the cars that got into the fence right there.
And not only that, I mean, if you have any chance of going back, you got to keep the cars out there to keep the heat in the racetrack. Now,
I guess the vortex theory isn't true.
Well, we're hoping it is. We want it to be true.
In the Vortex's theory's defense, these guys, we haven't gotten a whole lot of green flag racing.
That's right.
When we're debating the Vortex, you know something's gone bad.
It's gone bad.
We've now hit the final lap of the stage. And we're still side by side because we did the choose and then we never got to return to the green flag. Just a very bizarre set of
strange race, yeah.
And you know, you put the teams in a very difficult situation. NASCAR, I mean, what do you do on their side of it as you try to manage the track and the race and the conditions?
Well, you got to think they're not going to open pit road.
But yeah, I mean, pit
until
road
we know we're going to go back to green. You're not going to put all these, you know, guys, Chastain, Love, Swalch, all these guys up front in a terrible position, because you're not going to pit right now because the race, there's a possibility it could be over.
And they changed that just a few years ago. I think it might have been Texas or something, where it's just when you have a rain delay and you open pit road, then it's, you know, the weather shouldn't be a factor in the
outcome.
You know, the outcome in case you don't go back. So,
well, this is weird. Side by side to end the stage. Under caution. I'm not sure I've ever.
My money's on Chastain.
Called one that way. Yeah, put it down on number 9. For Chastain, it's going to be his 12th career stage win. And he also won stage 2 last week at Dover. So he's been making the most of his time in that 9 car the last couple of weeks. And saw the results populate. And that was a little bit askew there because Jesse Love actually came across before Ross Chastain, but Chastain is the guy that gets the stage victory. Love was second.
I love the effort from Jesse Love right there.
Why not?
Scored the gas just right at the last second. Maybe.
Well, he came in second in points, and Allgaier's not going to get any stage points here, which is incredibly rare when you think about the 7 and how consistent they've been in the stages.
I think the most frustrating part, you know, for us and the teams as you watch this is if you look at a radar and you can see the green and you know, well, okay, in 5 minutes it's going to be out of here, but there's nothing on the radar. You can't see it. It's kind of set in right now. I would say the visibility looks a little better now to me as I look out the window than it did a few minutes ago, but the moisture in the air that you see on the windshields of these cars is just not getting any better.
Going to bring him down pit road this time. I just looked out the window, and there's a lot of race fans. I mean, it's not like some huge crowd, right? But there's a lot of people that are still here. I just salute them for coming out as early as they did today, hoping the trucks would get their race that was rained out last night in this morning and hanging around tonight.
That's great to see.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, other than the moisture in the air, the temperature's perfect to be out tonight. It's
beautiful
sweatshirt
night.
weather. It's
Yep.
a great place time to come. And we thought we were going to see the truck race as well as the O'Reilly race today. Unfortunately, the weather just has not played in our favor.
So everybody comes down the pit lane behind the pace car. Second time tonight we've done this.
Look at the right side of that 9 car. We know he got into the wall. The Goodyear's all gone off the tires. There's got to be a lot of unknowns inside of that car of how much damage does he have if we go back green.
I mean, it's got concrete in the wheel. That usually
look at that
is
right front, guys.
Yeah, that usually means it's a significant hit to the tire.
2 stages down in this scheduled 300-miler for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at Charlotte. And it's the number 9, Ross Chastain, who leads live on CW. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. Progressive. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. And by Charbroil. Get more, grill more. Red flag is out for a second time at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. And this time we get it as we wrap up our second stage. We thought we were going to get a short little run to end the stage, and then there was just enough moisture in the air. The track got damp. NASCAR didn't feel comfortable turning him loose. So we rode around side by side after the choose, and eventually the stage comes to an end. We pulled all the cars down, and now we sit and wait to see how NASCAR handles this. And the race leader is Ross Chastain. And think about Junior Motorsports, man, and what a year they've had, winning 8 of the first 14 with 4 different drivers. And we've talked about Chastain and how hungry he is to get it done and trying to win a race at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the second straight year in the month of May. Jamie referenced it earlier. Won last year in the Coke 600.
It's a great track for Ross. Always runs well here. I would say he's...
And the race is official. We just received word from NASCAR. The race is over. 2 stages are complete. Ross Chastain leading. He is victorious. 3rd career victory. And win number 9 in 2026 for Junior Motorsports. Congratulations, Ross Chastain, taking the checkers in the Charbroil 300.
I don't think Ross knows yet.
Here's Dylan Welch.
Well, and we broke the news too. He and crew chief Philip Bell down here. Hey, Ross, you have been trying for a long time to win a race for Junior Motorsports. What's the significance of doing it on this weekend?
Just look, I'll start with us and this team and Carolina Carports. I first watched a JRM car drive by me here at Charlotte in 2014. I was on the apron in practice and one drove by, and I decided right then that I wanted to be in one. It took me until 2025 to get in one. So that's a testament to just continuing to work. And I've asked and couldn't raise the funds. I've asked, they were full. I had funds, like there wasn't room at the end. So for David Erickson to go to work and get me in this car through all of the relationships at JRM and through Chevrolet, I did not think we would win one like this, driving into the fence in liquid. I have no idea what it was, but I drove off into one like normal, and there was something on the track. And my Meemaw's in town, and she'd be really upset with me if I said anything else bad. But I don't think that's acceptable at all. But no matter how we win, I feel like we could have went and raced with them again at the end. And obviously, like you said, this weekend, just incredible to try to grasp losing Kyle. I just don't understand how he's not here racing. I don't grasp it mentally or spiritually. So obviously, racing is the best thing we can do to celebrate him and what he did in the sport and in his life. And that feels good to win because it was a long time coming.
Well done and well said. Congratulations. Ross Chastain, the winner at Charlotte, Kim.